How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Clout. At the end of this video, we will be announcing the winner of the Bitcoin giveaway. So make sure that you stay tuned till the end of the video. We've already selected the winner and they're already aware that they are the winner. However, for the greater community at large, we will be making that announcement for everybody's benefit. And of course, we will be doing giveaways in the future. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so that you qualify when those giveaways are announced. With all that being said, today we have a very exciting cryptocurrency to be talking about, which is DeepBrain chain. And of course, artificial intelligence is going to be huge in the future when you talk about things like the Internet of Things, and of course all these different variables that are going to be big in the future at large, not just big in the world of cryptocurrency. DeepBrain chain is of course at the top of the list when you talk about the different opportunities that are going to be for these various different technologies. Of course, DeepBrain chain doing exceptionally well today, up 26%, which is pretty impressive when you take into consideration the market and how things have been acting lately. DeepBrain chain is one of those technologies that ultimately speaks for itself. Of course, DeepBrain chain is available in respect to its collaborations with the Neo technology, which of course Neo is known as the Chinese Ethereum. Very interesting things happening involving Neo and smart contracts. You really can't talk about DeepBrain chain without bringing up Neo, but of course Neo and DeepBrain chain are working together for the future that we can see, the foreseeable future, of course. But when it comes to DeepBrain chain, I'm very excited to be seeing the various different developments that have been happening involving this technology. Of course, looking at the various different news articles regarding DeepBrain chain, it's really interesting to see how they've been leveraging the potential that's made in store by cryptocurrency miners, a lot of computing power that's really made a potential. And it's really interesting to see how AI mining really takes place. I think that that's the way of the future. This sort of way of optimizing the productivity of technologies sort of tends to be the trend that things are moving towards. So of course we can definitely see a lot of interesting future in store for DeepBrain chain, I'd say, because especially when you consider the fact that DeepBrain is very off of its all-time highs. Of course, back in early January of 2018, we were seeing a very expensive DeepBrain chain in comparison to where we are right now. And from my opinion, I'd say that this price of 8 cents is sort of a sale from my perspective, I'd say. I mean, of course, people who would have probably preferred to have picked it up on May 31st when it was much lower, because of course, when you take a look at that, that upward mobility is really impressive when you take into consideration the current market that we've been going through. But of course, it is a long-term perspective when it comes to DeepBrain chain. You'd have to be very patient. But of course, congratulations to everybody who's seeing gains right now, especially up the 26%. Is definitely interesting. But yeah, it's one of those technologies that I'm definitely paying attention to, because of course, as things continue to move forward and we see cryptocurrency in general being more optimized and the various different potentials that are in store for it, when you take into consideration cryptocurrency and how we're very early in the game, when you have to also consider all these multitude of international variables that are going to have to come together. Of course, the global market cap is going to be a variable in all cryptocurrencies, but of course it is good to see that we've seen some lately. Today it is interesting because of course earlier we were seeing the market cap down as low as 300 billion earlier. So it is interesting, of course. I mean, people remember the days back when things were way up high, but of course cryptocurrency is very volatile by nature, which is why it's important to do your own research when it comes to these technologies. You really have to take into consideration a multitude of variables when it comes to anything that involves this much risk. But of course, I'd always recommend that you guys go and follow DeepBrain chain on their official Twitter, just because Twitter is a really great resource when it comes to staying up to date regarding cryptocurrencies and understanding how these technologies are going to be acting in our day-to-day lives. I think fundamentally when I look at the list of cryptocurrencies as it currently stands, that's definitely a variable that I take into consideration. But look, my analysis of DeepBrain Chain, the research that I've done, is fundamentally data-driven. I find that it's important to look into the team that's working on these technologies, and I think DeepBrain Chain definitely does have a really promising future ahead of it. I'd say Neo especially is worthy of its own compliments to a certain degree when you consider that it is the smart economy that's being built around Neo, and all these different variables that seem to be coming together in DeepBrain Chain's benefit. So, and of course, it's interesting to pay attention to how China is acting in the world of cryptocurrencies and how there's various different developments. And of course, at the time of making this content, Neo and DeepBrain Chain are both in the green. So it is something interesting to be paying attention to, of course. And of course, DeepBrain Chain having that substantial connection to the number 11 crypto. And of course, I think in the future, Neo definitely does have a lot of potential in store for it. So yeah, I definitely recommend that you guys go and follow DeepBrain Chain, just that you could see the various different developments as they've been happening in real time. Even if you're not necessarily planning on really paying too much attention to DeepBrain Chain, it is interesting to see how an artificial intelligence computing platform is really expanding in respect to the overall context of cryptocurrency. But in that same respect, I recommend that you guys go and follow us on our official Twitter, which is at CryptoTuber, and of course our new Twitter, which is CryptoClout. And of course, I'll be including a link to the CryptoClout Twitter down in the description below. So if you guys are interested in connecting with us and sending us any feedback, we're always welcome to hearing what the community has to say regarding these different technologies. And of course, this is a good time for the standard disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. The whole purpose of us making this content is for the purpose of sharing our opinion regarding cryptocurrency. But of course, remember, in the future, we'd like to hear various different people's opinions, which is why we've built up this community Twitter. But of course, remember, I'm not your dad, so don't hold me accountable for any decision you may or may not make regarding DeepBrain Chain. It's a pretty standard disclaimer that the community is already aware of, but I think it's important to be said for those moving forward in the future. It's important to make your own decisions when it comes to these things, which is why I'd recommend you guys getting your information directly from the source. If not, at least hearing various different people's opinions. I'd actually going to recommend this video right here, which is really interesting by this channel. Huge news for DeepBrain Chain. This is an interesting video. I'll include a link to it in the description. But if you're really interested in hearing more things about DeepBrain Chain, this is one of those videos that's really a can't miss. So yeah, you guys could go check out the link to that down in the description. Something to watch when you're finished watching this channel. But yeah, really interesting content. And of course, the ratings, the like to dislike ratio speaks for itself. But yeah, we're gonna recommend that content just for you guys. But yeah, my personal opinion regarding DeepBrain Chain is one of the overall most interesting cryptocurrencies that I'm interested in paying attention to as things continue to move forward. And we are really early in the game when it comes to cryptocurrency, so it is interesting to see these various developments as they've continued to move forward. And of course, I'm going to recommend you guys become a member of the community. Of course, follow us on our Twitter, and of course, stay in touch. Share your comments down below. Share what your opinion is regarding DeepBrain Chain, because it is important to hear everybody's opinion. So I would say out of all the different cryptocurrencies that I have time to pay attention to, DeepBrain Chain is definitely one of the most exciting. There's really a great community that's built itself around DeepBrain Chain, and I think that it goes without saying that it's pretty obvious that DeepBrain Chain is going to have a really significant future. In particular, when you look at how Neo has expanded in popularity in such a short amount of time, I think there really is a lot of potential in store for DeepBrain Chain as we continue to look forward. And in particular, when we think about 2019, 2020, artificial intelligence is only going to continue to grow in popularity, accessibility, and of course, overall usage that you see in the greater population of the world, not just in the developed nations, but of course in developing nations as well. But with all that being said, we are in fact going to be announcing the randomly selected winner for the Bitcoin giveaway. And of course, many of you are already aware of the winner because it was selected live, but of course we are going to be announcing it for the greater population of the channel and the community. Of course, remember, those of you who were interested in winning who were not selected, you will have chances to win in the future because we do giveaways on this channel every time we reach new milestones of subscribers. So right now we're announcing the winner, and of course it is Nostradamus. And we will be sending you the winnings, of course, and congratulations to everybody who who participated, and thank you for participating. And yeah, all that being said, I'd say that it is really awesome to see how we've seen this community grow on this channel for such a short. We've only been around for such a short amount of time, and we've seen such a great community growing on all different platforms. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you for everybody who's been providing good quality information. I think it's awesome that we've built a really friendly community of people who are not just here to provide good information, but also support one another when it comes to just sharing information and being honest, and all these different things are really important. And yeah, of course, artificial intelligence and all these different technologies are going to be really big in the future, but of course it's awesome just to have all these different friends that we've been able to make through this community. And yeah, I'd just like to shout out the Twitter one more time just so that you guys know that we do have this new Twitter, Crypto Clout, which is basically the whole purpose of it is to give the community a chance to interact with the channel and really make this channel more accessible, and sharing different opinions and all that is really the key point, I think, because it's important in cryptocurrency. I think knowledge is really power, and with the price of Bitcoin being where it is right now, it could really, anything could happen. So but it is also important to understand how these technologies really can play a fundamental role in the future, and I just consider it really awesome to be really here with this community, and we can all learn all these things together and witness these developments happening in real time. But all that being said, yeah, I think Neo definitely does have some real potential in store for it, and of course DeepBrain chain along with it, really a lot of potential looking forward. But all that being said, just remember, I'm not your dad, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. I hope it's provided value to your life, and have a good one.